Welcome into another edition of Wildcat Weekly with Deuce Vaughn here on EMAW Online. I'm Mason Voth as we get ready for the Cats and the Longhorns this weekend. 6 o'clock night game at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. A lot of primetime kicks this year, but this is going to only be the second one at home for the Wildcats. What does that mean for you and the other players on the team to get to play a night game at home with the crowd and everything else that goes with it?
It's big time. Last time we played at night in Booster Fighting Stadium was the first game. So to come back, now 8 weeks, 9 weeks later, and knowing that it's going to be an electric crowd, just like the one we had this past weekend, being able to feed off that energy, feed off the people that bleed purple every single weekend and every single day is big time. It's something you look forward to. The preparation that you have throughout the week, the way you go about your business, just a little bit more heightened because you understand you're at home. You get to do it in front of your crowd.
Thinking about these late kickoffs, is it different having to sit around all day, especially as the season kind of wears on and these games become even more important? And this one and the last one come against teams that are in the top 25 and are really important games. Or do you enjoy still being able to kind of have the day and get right and then have that big time atmosphere?
Personally, I like having the day. At first, it was one of those things where it's like, man, I don't feel like sitting around all day at the hotel. But once you kind of start to think about it, it's another extra 8 to 10 hours for you to get your legs under yourself and under extra 10 hours to actually go through and get your mental right for the game. And all that time is crucial. It's valuable, and to be able to have that time to actually get into your room and watch some other games, chill out for a little bit before you get into the intenseness of the afternoon, going into that game, and then the atmosphere is unmatched. I mean, I feel like every single game we played in that night so far has been, I mean, unbelievable. So just understanding that it's going to be just like that this weekend is something that you look forward to.
Before we go any further into the Texas game, we'll look back real quick at the Oklahoma State game. There were a lot of people I think that believe that you guys could get the win. I'm not sure they thought it would be 48-0. Where does that rank on the scale of football games you've ever played? Whether it's when you were in the fifth grade, high school, and now at K State, like where does that rank in the level that your team has been at?
Definitely top five. Definitely, probably number one for my team here as far as just it was complimentary football, offense, defense, special teams. Man, we were all clicking on all cylinders, and it was really fun. It was really fun to play in, man. Understanding that every single time that you stepped on the football field, man, you kind of looked over and there was a mojo about the team that we had felt in spurts throughout the year, but we felt it the entire game. And to keep it rolling for the full 60 minutes was huge for us. And man, I had a blast out there, just out there going to war with my guys, and we were just all clicking. We were all playing some of the best football that we played this year. And it's one of the things that we understand we got to keep rolling, especially when we get into this latter like 25% of the season. So I'm super excited for what's coming next.
With the way the game started, you guys had the big fourth down early. You end up getting called for a false start penalty. Can you take us through kind of what happened there and what got you?
Uh, yeah, I believe after I can't remember if I believe I got the ball before that play. So I had some trouble getting my head back to the sideline. So I looked quick and ended up missing the call. So it was on two, and he ended up clapping. I flinch, trying to act like I'm looking over to get the call, and the ref hesitates, and I'm like, I'm thinking like I'm good, and I hear the whistle blow, and I'm like, they got me. But that's exactly what went down. As soon as that happened, I'm like, man. And then Cade and Will make the play, man. They bailed me out because the chewing that I got wasn't as big as it would have been if we would have went 4-0.
Yeah, who would it have been that would it have been BA that would have gotten into you there, or would anybody
Yeah,
else have
it
taken
would have
their
been. It
turn?
would have definitely been BA. Because as soon as I look over, he gave me like the head shake, and I was like, "Yeah, I understand. I know." I give him one of the pats on the chest. But man, they made up. They made up for it for me.
Do any of your teammates ever have kind of the I don't know the strength inside them to come at you on the sideline if you ever make a mistake and say, "Hey, come on, you need to step it up here," or are they all like, "Ah, I think Deuce knows what he's doing."
No, not too much. I try to stay pretty clean throughout the games and things like that. But no, it's one of those things where accountability on this team is pretty important for us. So as far as everybody goes, we're always going to be able to say something to someone, and they understand that it's coming from a place of love. And so anytime somebody comes up to me and says, whether it be a coach or a teammate, and says something I need to hear, I'm always going to take it with open arms.
With the way that things have gone the last 2 weeks now with Will at quarterback, and you guys find out just before the game that he's going to be the guy out there with you. What was that like? Kind of what goes through your head, and then what has been the difference for him being at this level this year as opposed to the first 2 years?
I feel like the opportunity has been different for him. Coming in as a freshman and playing quarterback at a Power Five Division I football team during a wild year, a COVID year, when you don't know if your starting wide receiver is going to be on the field, your starting running back is going to be on the field, if somebody's going to be out with COVID, and then just being thrown into the fire in a sense when you're coming in behind Skylar Thompson, who's a really good football player going into his junior year, senior year, and you think, oh man, well, this is his year. I can learn behind him and things like that. And being thrown into the fire is something that, man, it's super hard to do. And I feel like that experience factor, that confidence factor, to be able to see the looks, understand this offense. So he's a super smart football player. That's one of the things that he doesn't get a lot of credit for, is how smart he is in this offense. He put us on a Skylar Thompson level. He's really good at putting us in situations to be successful out there on football, whether it's checking and protection and things like that. But just that confidence, that level, that experience level. I mean, he's starting to come into himself at this level. And that's the type of football player that we know he is. And we saw it during spring ball, and we saw it during fall camp. So for him to come in against TCU and play the way that he did, and this past weekend play the way he did, man, we're so proud of him. And, man, we have the utmost confidence in him going forward no matter what happens.
Last little thing from the game on Saturday. Maybe we had talked about it at one other point, but the year before you get to K-State, they beat Oklahoma, and they get to have the fans come onto the field. What was that like from a player's perspective? Of you get a big win in that fashion, and you get to experience the fans coming onto the field with you?
It was a pretty cool experience. I didn't know if they were going to do it or not because it was a little delayed. I guess they let Oklahoma State get off the field before they did. So after I adapt all the guys up and everything, I kind of walk in, and then all I see is a couple of fans run past me. I'm kind of looking around. Before you know it, it's an entire swarm, and it was really cool. That I got to meet a lot of cool people, and just that love, the love of the Wildcats and the love of everybody that came down that field was felt, and it was really cool. It was a really cool experience, and it's something that, man, every time you get to play a top 10 team at home, you want to experience again. So it's one of those things. It's like a little giddy up factor.
Another big game this weekend with Texas, and you've been really successful individually against Texas in your two appearances against them. The team has lost both games, though, and 2020 kind of goes back to that was, weird year. It is what it is. Last year, semi-tough conditions, weird day. You're playing on a Friday, which you rarely ever do in college football. What has made Texas so difficult for you guys the last two seasons?
Well, this past year it was a 60-minute football game. It was competitive throughout the entire way, and the ball didn't bounce our way a couple of times throughout that game. And they made a couple more plays than we did that game. I feel like we matched up pretty well against them. They have really good athletes and really good schemes to go along with it. So anytime we get to play against UT, we understand it's going to be a challenge. And for us, it's just going to be staying in the fight the full 60, understanding that, man, if we can get into the fourth quarter, that's when we're going to have to finish, because we understand that these guys aren't going to go away. They have really good football players, and they're going to make plays. We're going to make plays as well. It's going to have to keep an even keeled, almost thought process throughout that game to be able to make sure that we put ourselves in a chance to be successful in the fourth quarter. And we just didn't really capitalize on that down in Austin last year. So that's something we're going to have to fix this year.
What is it that makes it challenging that you've seen out of their defense this season going into that matchup that you guys are going to have to make sure that you're either really smart about how you handle this or something you have to key in on early?
Yeah, so I really like their D line. They do a really good job of condensing gaps. They do a really good job of filling run lanes. Man, I feel like they have a really athletic bunch up front and really athletic linebackers as well, who are pretty patient when it comes to gap integrity. So they won't hop out of the gap super quickly, and they're pretty athletic. You look into their back end of their secondary. I've got a couple of guys that are a little beat up right now, so it's going to be interesting to see who they put out there. But still, they have athletes all over that field that can run, jump, and playing that secondary a lot, and they'll get into some cover one, cover zero stuff. So just making sure that you identify their fronts, identify everything that's going on, because they'll try to mess with your eyes as well. Bring a linebacker down, have a one backer box, and have their will linebacker out in the boundary over two with a safety top of him, and they'll bring them and be in a cover one setting, even though it looks like four. It's one of those things you have to be on your P's and Q's because they can hop into a 4 down and a 3 down very easily. It's one of those things that you just have to be on your P's and Q's the entire game to make sure that you don't give them a freebie when it comes to pass protection. You don't give them a freebie in the run game with like a missed assignment. And that's one of the things we're going to have to work on in the game and make sure that we're communicating really well to make sure we can tackle all those things.
What does it mean for you personally to go up against Texas, since you're from the area and some of the ties that are there with the Longhorns?
Whenever I play UT, personally, the chips a little bit bigger, just because of being 30 minutes down the road from UT, and it being a place that I went to a lot of camps for and wanted to go to, and just it wasn't in my I guess my future to go there for various reasons, and now to have gotten a chance to come here and gotten the opportunity to come and play here, and now getting to play against them. And the way that I take care of my business throughout the week heightens so much, just from the mere fact that I want to get this win. Have not won against this team since I've been in college. I want to get this win not only for myself but for everybody in this locker room, because there aren't a lot of guys or any guys in this locker room that have beat UT. So understanding that this week we're gonna have to play with an edge.
Well, it might be a good trend because last week you guys beat Oklahoma State. Your coach, Chris Kleiman, had not beaten Oklahoma State since he had gotten to K-State in 2019. And then Texas and Baylor, the next two teams up on the schedule, are the other two teams that he hasn't beaten yet since being at K-State. So a chance to kind of break the streak there. Does anything change for you guys when Saturday gets going, depending on if it's going to be Will or Adrian at quarterback, or does it just kind of, you get into the flow of the game and you don't really notice anything different, even if there are some differences in play calling?
We're just going to have to flow with it. Two really good, capable quarterbacks that have shown us that we can win with them. So it's going to be a game time decision, and whoever's in there, we understand that we're going to roll and not going to worry about any of the things that we can't control as football players, as guys on the field. We're going to go out there and play our game and play hard for both those guys, because we understand that either one of those guys that's in is going to give us a chance to be successful and go and win this football game. So at this point, it's going to be 11 on 11, one-man matchup, and everybody doing their job, and we understand that. So whoever gets to start and gets to play in this game, we're behind them. We're rallying behind them 100%. We're going out here to play some of our best football this year.
I know you can't give anything away, at least from the game planning side of it, but how much Wildcat have you practiced this week, since you did it quite a bit against Texas last year?
No Wildcat this week. No Wildcat this week, but yeah, no Wildcat this week.
Do you care to share your thoughts as to what went through your head last year when you guys kind of kept going to that down there?
I mean, as a football player, it's one of those things whenever they're putting the ball in your hand, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, no matter what. And the competitive side in you says, okay, bet. However, I'm getting this football, however many guys are standing across from me, you got to get this first down. I wasn't able to do it, but I've been kicking myself ever since because. But anytime you're in that position there, the play calls for you to get the ball and go get a yard, man, that's something that I feel like I'm a different player this year as far as going and getting that.
So last night or yesterday, the full day was your 21st birthday, correct?
Yes, sir.
Any disappointment that you turned 21 in the days after the win against Oklahoma State and you couldn't like fully embrace Aggieville after a big win like that?
No, sir. It was we did have a Halloween celebration, so that was a little bit of a plus after the Oklahoma State game, and I guess this weekend will be like my birthday weekend. So after a big time W, I'm sure we'll celebrate it as well.
What did you have a Halloween costume this year?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. I just threw on a hoodie and the Darren Sproles jersey, and that was it. I called it a night.
Okay. Anybody on the team have like a good Halloween get up, or anybody with a really bad one?
We had some Cowboys with the shirt with like the chest out and stuff like that. You know, I was a little skeptical of those. They had the jean shorts and the boots on. And I was, you know, that's just it was a questionable call on if you had to ask me. But not too terrible, not too terrible.
Okay. The last thing, one of the ways we were alerted it was your birthday yesterday. On our message board on our website, your grandparents posted a message on there. So
Really?
this is what they said. They said, "Deuce's Day, happy 21st birthday from Granny and Papa. We love you. Hope you have a wonderful day." So
Oh
uh,
man,
I'm glad we could deliver that message. I hope you talked to him yesterday too, like on the
I
phone or
did.
something. Okay.
I did. Yes, that's my dad's side of the family.
Okay. And
Yes, sir.
you mentioned your mom was in town yesterday for your birthday, right?
She was in town this past weekend. She'll be
Okay.
in town
I
this week.
gotcha.
She ended up ordering us some food and stuff.
I gotcha. I didn't know if you had like any family in town right now and they were going for like the extended weekend, and if that gets you like a little bit on edge, like this is a little too much family time right now.
Right. Yes, sir. Yeah, the weekends are all good throughout the season. The weekends are just good enough.
All right. Well, we'll let you get back to your Thursday night, and we'll see everybody out there on Saturday for kickoff with Texas. Any final thoughts on the game this weekend, or anything you'd want to say to the fans?
Man, I appreciate y'all coming out and supporting like y'all always do. 51,000 strong, and we rally behind that. And I can't wait to see the outcome and how y'all pull in droves to this game this weekend because we're gonna need you.
All right. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
No doubt. Thank you.